Are you here to play?
How's everyone doing? I'm doing great. It's here from Team TJ, and welcome to a channel update video for the Titan826 YouTube channel. Now, I haven't done one of these in a long time, and I figured that it was about time I did one, especially since there are going to be a lot of things that are going to be kind of changing up around the channel, or things that kind of have already changed that I think are important to address. So without further ado, let us begin. So starting off, I'm sure that you have all noticed that there's a bit of a shift in how I make content, and that is I have been making all of my Let's Play series, for the most part in recent months, all just consecutive, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. I did this with Soma, I did this with Maldark Conqueror of All Worlds, I did this with Subnautica Below Zero, and I'm sure you've noticed I'm doing it now with Minecraft Ultra Destruction. The reason I'm doing this is because, while I know that YouTube likes variety when it comes to YouTube channels, I really don't care what the algorithm wants at this point. I'm just doing this for my own enjoyment. That is really the big point here. The big takeaway. I am doing YouTube because I want to. I'm doing this because, yeah, I enjoy doing it. So because of that, if I'm enjoying a series, or I want to get a series done, then I'll focus pretty much solely on that, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. And as of making this video, I'm sure you've noticed that Ultra Destruction is the one that's getting that attention now, and before that it was Below Zero, and before that Conquer of All Worlds, and before that Soma, and yeah. I find it allows me to enjoy the games just a little bit better because I can actually take a moment to enjoy the game. I'm not playing the game, then jumping to another series, enjoying that, and then jumping back to the other game. Which, if you're an old viewer or went back to watch a bunch of my old videos, you probably noticed that, like, Ultra Destruction, Sims 4, and Subnautica were the three main series that were going for a while, and they all kept, like, interchanging. It was whichever of the three. But the problem with that was it made it hard to kind of focus on just one of them. Like, I had everything I wanted to get done with The Sims 4, I had everything I was doing with Ultra Destruction, I had the story and everything I was doing with Subnautica, and it was all happening at once, and it did overload me a little bit. And I think that I saw just how fast I got through Soma, and then I was even more surprised when I saw how fast I got through Conqueror of All Worlds. And then, even though I didn't begin the series with this, how kind of quickly I wrapped up Subnautica Below Zero, and I kind of realized that this was probably the best way I can make content for myself, and that is I just focus on one series and just kind of get that going, and then eventually jump over the next one. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I won't do other things while I'm focusing more solely on one series. It just kind of means that one series at a time is where it takes priority. Sometimes maybe a series might go for a while and then it kind of gets a break. Like, I pause it and I do something else for a while, and then I break that and I go back to the old one. Like, that might happen sometimes, like, maybe for, like, upcoming series that are going to be, like, more long-term. Eventually I might get bored of one of the series, and without just continuing it onward, even though I am getting tired of it, maybe instead I just stop the series for a little while, jump to something else, and then do that for a while, and then I can then just enjoy that, and then if I get bored of that or finish it, I then jump back to the one I had left before and just keep that going. So content on this channel, it's gonna happen, and pretty much everything I want to do, I'm going to eventually do at some point. So it's not a matter of if I'm gonna make content, it's just more of a matter of when and how I'm gonna make content. So that's a nice transition into the actual content of the channel and talking about where everything is. all the different series, all the different Let's Plays, everything I'm doing. So we're going to start with the big boy, Minecraft Ultra Destruction. Now, Ultra Destruction, as of making this video, Ultra Destruction is nearly 5 years old as a series. Nearly 5 years ago I uploaded the first episode, and I realized just how lazy I have been. I actually will admit it, I was lazy when it came to this channel. I wasn't making content when I could have, and a lot of what I really do think, a lot of the time I really could have spent making more content, I didn't. Or, well, the other thing, like I've talked about, like having 3 series running at a time made it kind of hard to focus on simply one of them. So Ultra Destruction kind of did go on the back burner a lot, because out of all of them, I found that was the one I kind of got bored of quickly. Like, when I finally was like, I want to play Ultra Destruction again, I played it for like 1 episode and I was like, I'm bored, and then I go over to something else. And so I think that having a nice break from Ultra Destruction for a while has kind of refreshed it a little bit, especially after killing the Gaia Guardian and finally ending the goddamn Botania mod. I can finally feel free to do what I want to do with Ultra Destruction, and that is the big point there. That is the major point. I'm doing just what I want to do with Ultra Destruction. Even though there are a bunch of mods that I put in there, the thing is, a lot of the mods I put in there, because if you're thinking like, well, if you don't like Botania and you don't like any of that, why did you put it in Ultra Destruction in the first place, since Ultra Destruction is a custom mod pack that you made, is what I'm sure some people might ask. And the truth is, when I made the Ultra Destruction mod pack, I just tossed in a bunch of mods that I knew I liked, like Ore Spawn, Twilight Forest, Divine RPG. Those are mods that I already knew about, and I already knew I liked them. But there were a lot of mods I threw in. I had no idea what they were about. I just had some vague idea on the Cursed Forge page of what they were, and I saw they were popular. That was stuff like Tinker's Construct, Thumbcraft, Blood Magic, Pam's Harvest Craft, and of course, Botania. I just saw that they were popular. I didn't really know anything about them, so I threw them in because I knew they were popular, so I figured they had to be good, right? They had to be. I quickly found that I did not like Botania, and so I am kind of a little nervous about when I start trying to do stuff with Thumbcraft or Blood Magic. Like, they're also magic mods like Botania, and I'm just like, please don't be boring, please don't be boring, please don't be boring. And that's the thing I'm gonna have to tell myself. If they are in fact boring, I might just not do them. I might just start doing them, and then like I'll get bored of it after like enough of doing it. I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is just as slow, just as painful as Botania. I'm not doing it. Moving on to something I actually want to do. And so I think that's the main thing. I think the best way for Ultra Destruction to actually make Ultra Destruction end, since that actually is kind of the goal. I want to get to the ending of both the modded stuff and the story I've been telling with Ultra Destructions. I'm sure that, and I guess this is kind of breaking the immersion a little bit, but yes, I'm sure people have noticed that there is a bit of a story. There are characters in Ultra Destruction. There's the main villain with Entity 303. There's this guy, this like dark figure in the hood that's kind of popped up a couple times with Entity 303. There's characters like Sam. There's Blue is technically a character as well. And then you had the elven goddess that showed up in a recent episode. So there's a story being told there. And now granted, the story is kind of being scraped together as I go, because I'm actually going to be totally honest with the elven goddess. I did not plan her at all. She was literally something I came up with on the spot when I was trying to figure something out. And that was when I saw just how much mana I would need in mana pools to even get that stupid Elfheim portal opened. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I am cheating it in, but how do I cheat it in without making it look like I cheated it in? I can create a goddess who puts it in there for me, so it becomes part of the story. It's like, it's really just an easy way for me to cheat stuff in, but it also gave me a new character that I can then work with later, so I guess it's a plus. It's a win-win situation there. But no, I want to get Ultra Destruction squared away. I'm not going to like rush it though. I don't want to rush a conclusion on that. It's more that I'm just going to finish the stuff I want to get done. So that is like, that's Ore Spawn, that's Divine RPG, that's like some of all the other dimension mods, like the Atom, the Aether, Galactic Craft, pretty much anything else that has like a boss fight. And the only other thing other than that would be like actually get a fully functioning ME system, actually like a fully functioning, actually useful ME system. And then kind of after that, it's like, yeah, I've pretty much done everything. I've done every major thing that's in the mod pack. And I can finally end Ultra Destruction, which would be bittersweet since Ultra Destruction's been part of the channel for a long time, but everything needs to have an ending, and that Ultra Destruction's gonna have to have an ending. Both of the mods and of the story. So there's gonna be stuff, I got plans. I'm not gonna say what those plans are so I don't want to spoil stuff, but just know that I got plans. It's all up in here. It's all up in this brain here. Also gonna take a bit of a side note here and just mention the new profile picture and the new banner I have on my channel. I feel like I worked really hard on that. I really did enjoy making the banner and stuff and the picture. I think what I liked about it was that I feel like it reflects the channel just a bit better because the picture is actually of me. Granted, it was a Photoshop version of me, but it's still me, rather than like my Minecraft skin, which my Minecraft skin is still a part of the channel's image. It's just, I'm not a solely Minecraft channel, so I don't want to advertise myself as a Minecraft channel. I'm not a Minecraft channel. I'm a gaming channel, and Minecraft just happens to be one of the games I play. I think that it's a better branding for the channel, and the banner, it's a much better reflection than the last one. The last one was alright, but this one's a way better. And obviously, one of the games we're going to talk about, because we were talking about the story, so Ultra Destruction, so let's talk about The Sims 4, which also has a story stuff going on with it, and it takes up, like, most of the banner, like the whole right side. Well, I guess for you this would be the right side. The right side of the banner is just taken up by just The Sims 4. Like, everything Sims 4 is on that side. So let's talk about The Sims 4. I don't think there's as much to talk about here because The Sims 4, it's just a series that's just going to kind of keep going and going and going and going as it goes. But I do have a lot of plans for stories. I'm not going to, like, spoil anything. Like, I'm not spoiling anything with Ultra Destruction either. But there are plenty of stories I have planned. In fact, all I need to do is make 6 more episodes of The Sims 4, and The Sims 4's hit episode 50. I do have a special plan for episode 50. I'm not going to say what it is, but I do have a plan for episode 50. And then if we make 50 more episodes and get to episode 100, I don't know what I'm going to do for episode 100 of The Sims 4 if we get there, but something special, definitely. I think a couple things that are very special about The Sims 4 is that I can tell stories with it, and I have, like, the characters. Like, at this point, the 826 family they're less like Sims I just control and stuff, and they've kind of become more like actual characters in a story, in a plot. They are like, I'm telling their story, I guess is the best way to describe it. They've become like almost like actual people to me. And so I would definitely have a lot more stories I have planned for them. The last big arc, which is the Crime Syndicate arc, that's already over, and there's stuff from that that's kind of gonna linger and stuff. As if you've been paying attention to the series, you know that with the new Anonymous arc that we're doing currently, there is a little bit of stuff that's from the Crime Syndicate arc that's coming back to bite the 826 family. Again, if you haven't watched any of it, definitely go watch it since that stuff's actually already on the channel. I'm doing like the big arc with Raven and everything, the fact that she's like turning into a sorceress with the Realm of Magic game pack for The Sims 4, and I really, after that episode, the Three Witches episode, as well as the Kelly and Cora playdate babysit episode, both of those episodes were less focused on me doing commentary over just me playing The Sims and trying to tell a story with it, and more like, you know, I took a step back, and I was barely in. Like, me as a human being, or as a voice over the gameplay, I was barely in the Kelly and Cora episode. Like, the majority of the episode was about those two, and I just subtitled them. I just had them talking and doing things, and I subtitled them. That episode was like an experiment to see, like, okay, how can I do this? Does this work? And in a lot of ways, actually, I think that it really did work. And so I kind of did it like a mesh between regular gameplay and that for the Three Witches episode. And wow, I think that worked out really well. I think that was one of the best episodes I made of The Sims 4. And so that's telling me that's a new way to make The Sims 4. And while there's definitely going to be plenty of episodes of The Sims 4 that are more focused on just gameplay, I think that more story-driven episodes will have a lot more elements of me not talking and The Sims talking and me just subtitling them. Because I think that would be a lot better story-wise, because it makes, again, they become actual characters with that, rather than just video game characters and I'm telling their story as I play it, and just, you know, it's a thing. I hope that you kind of get what I'm saying here. I have, again, a lot of plans for The Sims 4. Like, I'm gonna definitely do a lot of things. There's a whole lot of stuff I want to do with the 826 family. A ton of stuff. There's a couple things I want to do with Titan826. There's like a few big things I want to do with Willow. There's some stuff I want to do with Summer. Summer, I think, is kind of at a point in her story where I think there's not much left, I think, to do, but I'll probably come up with something. I just don't have, it's not that her story is done and she's just kind of gonna be where she is. I have some stuff planned for Summer. I have some big things planned for Raven and Grimm, and I have some stuff planned for Kelly. Like, I got a lot planned. Like, the 826 family, they're gonna have a lot going on. So that series is pretty much set for a long time, especially since The Sims 4 technically does not have an ending. The Sims 4 series is going to end when I say it ends, and that could be a while. But let's now look over at another Sims 4 series on the channel, Sims 4 Once a Ghost, starring Bob Ghost and his family. When I created the spin-off series for Bob, I really thought this was gonna be an easy thing to do. Like, Bob was a simple character. When I created Bob, the whole point of Bob was so he could die, so I could get Grim Reaper to show up, so I could add Grim Reaper to the family. And Bob would then be, like, his grave would just be in the 826 family's front yard. He would just kind of come out there as a ghost and sometimes just float around the house a bit. Like, he would just be like a reoccurring ghost character. That's why his last name is Ghost. Because he was supposed to stay a ghost. He was never supposed to be brought back to life. But after the whole thing happened and everything, I felt bad for him. I just was like, I just created this guy just so I could kill him. Like, no, I'm bringing him back. He's got a story to tell, and I'm going to tell that story. So I brought him back, and I created the spin-off series Once a Ghost. And I figured, this cannot be a hard series to make work, and for a little while, I think I made it work, because he met Moria, they got married, he automatically got a stepson in the form of River, but then after that, it got kind of difficult to figure out what to do with him, because the next thing I kind of did was I gave the Ghost family Charlie Ghost, the dog, like, because the 826 family already had Key the cat, so the 826 family already had a cat, and from Cats and Dogs, and they were not going to get a dog, so This will allow me to at least have some experience with the dog aspect of cats and dogs. And then they had Juniper, which I do have plans for Juniper. I have plans for River as well. But the thing is, like, I have plans for River, I have plans for Juniper. I don't have many plans for Bob. And I feel bad about that because I like Bob. I think he's a great character, but I also have to remind myself he's a very simple character. He's the lovable goofball who happens to be a writer. That's his entire character. And at first I thought that's going to be easy to tell a story for. Not really. Not really easy. And I need to figure out some better ideas for Bob. I have a couple ideas for what I could do with Bob's series that actually would involve Bob, but they don't feel like they would be very Bob-centric. They feel more like they would be Bob's family-centric. And the next episode I make of Once a Ghost, which I don't know when it's going to be, but next episode I make of it, I definitely know what I want to do, is I want to make it so it's a Bob-centric episode. I just don't know how to do that properly. And I don't want to just focus on storylines involving River and Juniper. Like, I'll definitely have storylines involving River and Juniper and Moria as well, but I don't want all the storylines I tell in that series to be about everyone but Bob, because the series is about him. It's his series. The series is literally titled Sims 4 Once a Ghost. Bob is meant to be the main character. With the main Sims 4 series, the 826 family are the main characters. I can focus on any of them as individuals, but they are one big family unit, and the series just being called The Sims 4 is not The Sims 4 Titan826, it's not The Sims 4 Willow826, it's not The Sims 4 Grim Reaper. It's The Sims 4. It's just about them. It's about the 826 family and whatever they're doing. It could be about any of them. Sims 4 Once a Ghost can be about Bob's family, but it also has to be about Bob. It has to be about his story. And the biggest problem with that is I thought, well, maybe like I did with Charlie the dog, like, because the dog is like, do stuff with Bob's series that you won't or can't do in the main Sims 4 series because it doesn't go with that story. The problem is there's not that much I haven't done with the 826 family that would really fit with Bob's family or really fit with Bob's storyline. Like, I mean, there's some aspects to like get to work I haven't touched on. Like, there's like 2 careers I haven't touched, like the doctor career and the scientist career. I haven't done anything with either of those. But does that really sound like a good fit? Like, maybe, like, if I want to turn Bob into a doctor, I might go that route, but I'm not sure if that would really go with his character. You know, like, unless I just want Bob's series to turn completely random, which, again, anything I'm saying could easily be subject to change with Bob's series because I have no idea what I'm doing there. I thought I did when I made it, and I did for a little while, and now I'm just lost, and I need to figure out what to do with Bob. And that really feels sad because I love Bob. I think he's a fantastic character. I love him. Absolutely love him. I've got some great plans. It's just I need some kind of stepping stone between where we are now and that plan that I'm doing. I need something in between there, and I don't know what that something is gonna be. But nevertheless, I'll figure all that out. So moving on to another series that I am really lost on what I'm supposed to do with this, and that is the City Skylines series. And yes, even though it's only 3 episodes, it is technically an ongoing series on the channel. And the reason that it's only 3 episodes and still ongoing is because I have no idea what to do with this series. City Skylines as a game is just build a city. That is it. There is no, like, actual goal other than, like, make a bigger city. That's the goal, is that. The problem I'm having with that is that the game is actually fun. I really enjoy City Skylines. I think the game is fantastically fun. Like, I really enjoy the times I've played City Skylines, which I've only played City Skylines for those 3 videos. but I've enjoyed when I've done it. I think the game is actually rather fun. The problem I have with the series is that every single video is pretty much the exact same video. The only difference is how much bigger is the city. Like, that is the difference. And I looked up stuff for City Skylines. City Skylines actually has, like, DLC packs and stuff. I'm like, I'm not buying more packs for a game I've barely played just to try to make it better, because no. Like, I might later if it became like a bigger thing, but as of now, no. Now, it does have mods, and modding is certainly something I've done plenty with games I've played. Minecraft most definitely, and I've also modded The Sims 4 quite a bit, but again, I've barely begun with City Skylines, technically. It really does feel like I've barely begun. My city is tiny. I don't even, if I remember correctly, I don't even think it's 10,000 people. Maybe it's that now, but I don't even remember. I don't even remember if it's 10,000 people yet in the city or not, but I think the problem I'm having with it is that unlike the other games where there's like actual characters or like an actual set progression, City Skylines does not have either. It doesn't have either of those. And that does make it different, makes it fun, but not really as a series on the channel in the way that I make content. Because with stuff like most of the other games I've played, like, there is an actual progression. There's an actual do this, then do that, then do that, then do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. There's an actual order to things. Now with The Sims 4 does not have this, but the difference between Sims 4 and City Skylines is that The Sims 4, the Sims are like characters. I can tell stories with them. I can tell a story about the individual characters and the individual families. I can tell a story about the 826 family. I can tell a story about the Ghost family. I cannot tell a story about individuals when there really are no individuals in City Skylines. The character is the city. That's the point, the city. There are the different people, and they all do have their own little names and stuff, and they have jobs and stuff, but they are, like, they're just there to add the atmosphere of the fact that they are actually present. You see the little cars driving down the streets. You see the little people wandering down the sidewalks and heading to the parks and the businesses and stuff and heading to work. You see all that, but you have no idea who any of them are, and you're not really supposed to. They're trying to keep track of one person in City Skylines would probably be near impossible, because there are a bazillion of them. That being said, I don't want to not play City Skylines on the channel, but at the same time, I really am struggling to figure out what the hell do I do with that series. And if any of you guys have any ideas, any like good ideas for what I could do with City Skylines, actually turn it into a series that's more fun on the channel, like something that each episode would actually feel different. Like, they'd actually be a reason that there's different episodes. Because right now, the way it is, that's not happening. It really does not feel like I can actually tell any stories. I can't, and the progression is just like, it's just make a bigger city, make bigger city, make bigger city. And like, I get the point. It's a chill game. That's the point, and that's why I love it. But I don't know. It might even get to a point where I even just say screw it and just cancel the rest of the City Skylines series and just play the game on my own. So yeah, maybe City Skylines should just become a game that's just for me. I don't know. Maybe that's what it should become. I really don't know. I don't want that, because I do want it to be a series on the channel, but again, I don't know how to really make that work. The only other thing I can think of, which actually is probably a good idea that I really just thought of now, is probably go look up other people's City Skylines playthroughs on YouTube. See what other people have done. See how they do it compared to how I do it. And see if maybe they have a better idea of what to do. I don't know. But anyways, moving on to a game that's sort of not on the channel anymore, but still on the banner, so I want to do something with it. That is Roblox. I don't know what to do about Roblox. I think the big problem is that a lot of Roblox games are very repetitive. They just repeat. It's just the same thing over and over. Very few of them actually have an actual, like, story, an actual progression. That's why I loved Pokemon Brick Bronze when it was a thing, but then they took that away, and then they replaced it with Lumion Legacy, and I made that one Lumion Legacy video, and I never touched it again. I've kept telling myself, oh, go back, like start Lumion Legacy over again, start it over again, make it like reboot the series, start it over again. I just don't know if I want to, and I think it's because I'm not sure. Like, I still kind of enjoy Roblox, but there's a lot of, I don't know. Maybe I'll do the Lumion Legacy thing. It's just a case where when there's so many other things that I could play on the channel that I want to play, I really don't know if Lumion Legacy is what I want to play, because I don't know. What made Pokemon Brick Bronze so much more fun was because I like Pokemon. I really like Pokemon, but I've never played a Pokemon game. Pokemon Brick Bronze is the closest I ever got to actually playing a Pokemon game. That is legitimately a thing. I am a fan of Pokemon, and I have never played a Pokemon game. Actually, I've never actually played a Nintendo game either. I do think that Roblox has a future on the channel. It's just a case of what is that future? And I think it really just comes down to picking the right game, because the last video I did on Roblox that I can remember doing was a collaboration I did with the Techno Echo where we played Roblox Death Run. And that was quite a time ago. That was a while since I've done that. Again, if I make another Roblox series, the closest thing I can think of is Lumion Legacy, or if somebody can think of some really cool Roblox game that is like that, where it's got like an actual progression story like Lumion Legacy, definitely let me know so I can check that out and stuff. But yeah, if I'm gonna do anything with Roblox in the future, it's gonna be a Lumion Legacy series or some random Roblox game collaboration. But that's probably the most I'm gonna really be doing with Roblox in the near future, unless some big thing happens. I really can't think of what that would be, though. And for anyone who's going to suggest, like, oh, go play Roblox Doors or something like that, I'm not going to jump on something just because everyone else is doing it, or especially considering how at this point Roblox Doors really is not at the popularity spike that it was before, so it's like, it just like, every time I see that, I'm like, it almost... You've seen the movie Ice Age, right? You know the stupid dodos, they jump into like the hole that basically disintegrates them going after the melon and stuff. Every time I see a new trend, like a brand new trendy game that just came out and stuff, and every YouTuber on the platform like runs to go to play it. Every time I see that, that is the scene I think of. I think of them as just dodos rushing to a hole and then falling into it and then disintegrating, and then the trend goes away and then a new one pops up and then they run to that one. It's like, that is so many YouTubers, and I think that is just stupid. Now granted, that's not every YouTuber, but there's a lot of them that do that. Alright, so now let's talk about upcoming stuff. That stuff that's not been on the channel, or just like really big upcoming stuff that's on the channel. Let's start with some upcoming games. Now, I'm not gonna start a new game on the channel until I have finished Ultra Destruction. I am just saying it now. Once I finish Ultra Destruction, a new series will begin. Now, what is that series that I'm probably going to be doing after I finish Ultra Destruction? Well, I was thinking Terraria. Pretty much everybody in my friend group has played Terraria except me. So I figured I'll play it on the channel, make it a series, make it a Let's Play. And I don't think a Terraria playthrough would actually take that long. I think that would just be... it would be fun to play through, and then after that, I'm freed up to where I can make any content involving Terraria after that, once I've gotten, like, the main playthrough over with. And again, it's a main solo playthrough, like, I'm not gonna be playing with anybody, but yeah, I am looking forward to that. But again, that is after Ultra Destruction is over. And again, I'm not rushing the ending for Ultra Destruction, I actually want it to have a nice, proper ending. But I am solid on the fact that after that is over, Terraria is the next game coming to the channel after Ultra Destruction is over. So look forward to that if you're a fan of Terraria, because it's coming. It's coming to this channel. Sooner or later, it's coming. I do not know when exactly, but I do know it's after Ultra Destruction is over. Like I said before, I don't know when I'm going to do stuff, I just know I am going to do stuff. You can guarantee that what I want to do is going to actually happen. It's just a matter of when is it actually going to happen. And the answer to that is when it happens. But there are plenty of other games I have planned to play on the channel. Maybe some small stuff could maybe pop in while I'm still finishing up Ultra Destruction stuff. Maybe. The big keyword is maybe. But I'm just going to name some games I'm definitely going to be playing on the channel. Like, another big game I would definitely want to play on the channel is Dying Light. Another game I've never played Dying Light, but I heard it's really good. I've seen some gameplay of it, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. I think that I would absolutely love playing that game, and it would be something a bit different. It'd be something a bit different for the channel, and I think that would be a really fun series. So there is that. As well as there's a whole bunch of like little games that I could definitely play on the channel as well. Now, all of these are guaranteed to happen on the channel. Like, I want to play Tomb Raider. I want to play Undertale. I want to play Celeste, I want to play the Henry Stickmin Collection, I want to play Doki Doki Literature Club, I want to play Just Shapes and Beats, I do want to play Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, if you can call playing Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy playing it, it's more like torturing yourself, but whatever. And of course, I had a lot of fun with Soma, so why not play other horror games? So some of the other upcoming games on the channel are going to be horror games like Bendy and the Ink Machine, Outlast, and Amnesia, which... Amnesia is a really popular horror game from back in the day, and I didn't even realize this, but Soma was actually made by the people who made Amnesia. So I really liked Soma, so why wouldn't I like the game they made before it? I mean, I hope I do. And there's other games I have planned on the channel. I didn't say every game, but there's definitely plenty that I want to play on the channel, and that's just a few of them. Now, another upcoming game on the channel, which would kind of be a longish term series, this is going to be the third Subnautica game. Because I played both Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero, and the third Subnautica game has been announced that it is going to be being made. It is already, I think, in production, I don't know for that entirely. I just know that Unknown Worlds Entertainment is making a third Subnautica. But we don't know what the title is, we don't know what the story is going to be, we don't know how they're doing it. All we know is that there's going to be a third Subnautica game, and I love Subnautica, I love Subnautica Below Zero, so you know the second there's another Subnautica game, I am going to be playing it. You know that already. But in the meantime, when it does get fully released, I might actually go back to the original Subnautica to play Subnautica Return of the Ancients, which is a really, really cool looking mod for the first Subnautica game that I'm sure if you're within the Subnautica community, you've heard of Return of the Ancients at this point. If you have not heard of Return of the Ancients at this point, you are either not a big fan of Subnautica or don't keep up with Subnautica news, or you've been living under a rock. Return of the Ancients is a really big mod for Subnautica, which, well, it basically brings the gargantuan Leviathan, that gigantic skeleton from the Lost River, back to life. And a bunch of other stuff as well. But the mod itself actually, like, it has its own, like, side story to the main story of Subnautica. And to me, that's really cool. That is a really cool idea. So that would actually mean that playing Return to the Ancients would not just be like revisiting Subnautica over again, which it kind of would be, but it would be like a new take on it, and I think that would be really exciting. So when Return to the Ancients does come out, I am definitely going to be playing that as a Subnautica Season 2, I guess, if you could call it that. I really wouldn't call it that. I would just call it Return to the Ancients, like it's its own separate thing. But going off of games that are coming back to the channel, this is a big announcement. I am actually thinking, again, this isn't like a long-term commitment, so I could probably get this done in my big Ultra Destruction binge playthrough stuff, and that is a reboot of a story about my uncle. Now, I never actually talked about what happened to this series. If you've been around the channel for a while, you probably know that I played a story about my uncle for 2 episodes, and then never touched it again. Now, why is that? Did I just quit the game? Did I just not want to play it anymore? No, I actually did finish the game. I recorded the last 2 episodes back to back, and by doing so, I learned that my recording software had broken, and the footage was just not usable whatsoever. There was no saving the footage whatsoever, and I had already beaten the game. So I just kind of left it not doing anything. I just kind of didn't do anything with a story about my uncle. I didn't try to go back and re-record stuff because I just was like, my reaction is not going to be genuine because I know what to expect. And while to some extent I still do kind of know what to expect since I've already done it, I also kind of have to remind myself, it's been years since you've played it. I played a story about my uncle back in 2019. So it's been a while. And I think revisiting a story about my uncle now, I would kind of have fresh eyes. I would react to stuff because I don't remember everything that I did. I definitely remember some stuff. I do remember some stuff about it, but there's going to be some stuff I just don't. And I think the main part of this stuff is like, it's got the story, and it's good to tell the story. But the game itself is more about the challenge and stuff. It's more about the weird like grapple parkour thing that you have to do. It's like, so there is that. So a story about my uncle reboot, that is coming, and it's probably not going to be too long before that actually does happen. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen soon-ish. Now I'm going to start talking about a little bit of other content that I'm looking at possibly doing. And this is a bit of a big announcement, but I'm actually thinking, now don't laugh at this, I'm actually thinking about starting a podcast. But no, I'm actually going to start up making a podcast. And it would be a little different than like the content you're used to, because it would be more me just talking about stuff, kind of like I'm doing now, but, you know, not solely about YouTube related things. Like I would just talk about pretty much whatever I want to talk about. It could be games, it could be like TV shows, movies, books, like any sort of fun things. It could even be topics that, I don't know, and I might even have guest stars in the podcast. There's a lot I could do with a podcast, and I definitely think I'd do it. I don't think I would do it daily at first. I think I would probably end up being more like a weekly thing, but I definitely want to do that. I don't know when exactly I'm going to start it, but I definitely know I want to start it sooner rather than later. I definitely know that. Now, this next thing I'm going to talk about is just more of a reminder for people. Since I know I've garnered a few new fans, I mostly noticed that was mostly because of Meldark Conqueror of All Worlds, because that is a game that very few people actually know about. So the fact that I made a Let's Play series on it, I can see why that garnered a few more viewers, because let's be honest, at the time I was probably the only person on YouTube making an ongoing series on Meldark Conqueror of All Worlds. So of course, people who knew what Meldark Conqueror of All Worlds was would come to watch my videos. And thank you all so much for coming, as, you know, I love the game too, and I hope that you all stuck around and enjoy all my other content. And if you haven't yet, go back and watch all my old stuff, because some of that stuff's pretty good. I think the Sims 4 series definitely watched like the whole thing of that. That's a really good one. But no, this is just a reminder for people who maybe weren't around when I originally announced them. And I don't advertise these things in my videos, which on one hand, I think that's good because it shows that I'm not really interested in the views. I just do this because I enjoy it. And the videos are just meant to be, fun, me playing games and you guys just kind of coming along for the ride. That's the point. So I don't really advertise these things in my videos, but they are in the description, and I just kind of wanted to remind people that they exist. I do have a Discord server called Team TJ. It's a Discord server, but very few people are actually in it, but I'm hoping that maybe this will change that. I do have a Twitter at Titan826TJ. I really don't do anything on Twitter, though. I do want to do more with Twitter, but I really don't know what to do. Like, I originally just posted the videos that I made, and that was it. I just was using it to promote the channel. That was the only reason I made a Twitter account originally. So, yeah, I'm not sure if anybody actually wants to follow me on Twitter, but if you want to, you can. And I also recently, if you're on the Discord server, you saw the announcement for this. I recently made a subreddit for my channel. r/Titan826 is now a thing. If I'm going to be totally honest, I mostly made it just so I could snag the name r/Titan826 before anyone else took it. I originally tried going with r/Team TJ, but sadly that was already taken by somebody else. So I got r/Titan826. That is my subreddit. If you guys want to join that, you can. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. If anybody knows how to run a Reddit, if anybody knows how to run a Reddit, their own subreddit or whatever, or just even be somebody who runs a subreddit, please hit me up, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm also going to say that r/Titan826 is not actually my first subreddit. I had one before. I made about a year ago, just so I could also snag the name. And this is actually going to be the first time I have talked about this on the channel. Now, this is not a secret thing or anything. This was not a secret project I was keeping from you guys. And just simply, I never really talked about it. But I have been writing a story. Now, the story is made up of multiple different little stories that all come together into one big universe. And it's fan fiction, but not romantic fan fiction. Do not think that. It is not romantic fan fiction. This is fan fiction in the case of it's a big crossover of a bunch of things that I like and put together into one big story. But a well thought out story. There is some elements of romance in there, but it's not the point. That's not the point. There's just a few characters that are romantically involved with other characters. But that's it. That's not the sole focus, okay? That's just a side thing. The sole focus is the action, the lore, and the overall story. So what is this story, I hear you asking? Well, the story is called Galactic Titans. The Titans part actually has nothing to do with the fact that I'm Titan826. Okay, that's nothing to do with it. It just is called Galactic Titans. It's basically a crossover fanfiction between a bunch of properties I like. That includes stuff like the DC Arrowverse is in there, but other stuff from DC is also in there, as well as some aspects of Star Wars. It's got Ben 10 is in there. It's got a weird amalgamation thing from My Little Pony and My Little Pony Equestria Girls. It's I kind of merged the two things together. If you read it, it'll make sense. It's got some original stuff in there. There's a few other things in there. I feel like it's well thought out, and I'm still working on stuff. I finished phase 1, and I'm working on phase 2. And yes, I am doing this in phases like the MCU did. And this whole thing is on Wattpad. And I chose Wattpad as my platform of choice mostly because I liked its user interface. In my opinion, Wattpad, out of every place I could have put this story online, Wattpad had the best user interface, so that's the one I went with. And I will leave a link in the description down below to the complete Galactic Titans timeline. But if you go onto my Wattpad page, which is Titan826, it should be obvious the profile picture is the exact same as my YouTube one. You will be able to see Galactic Titans phases 1 and 2, and you can read those like individually, so you can see what's in phase 1, what's in phase 2, and then later like what's in phase 3, 4, 5, whatever. So yeah, this is the first time I'm actually talking about this on the channel. Now, why am I bringing this up on the channel? Well, two reasons. One, because I do have r/Galactic Titans. I snagged the name so I could have it well beforehand. Actually, I am happy that I actually do have r/Galactic Titans, since r/Titan826, that made sense that wasn't taken yet, because that's Titan plus 3 numbers. It's like, that's not gonna be taken by too many people. But r/Galactic Titans, that's just 2 regular words put together. I'm amazed that that was not taken before I got it. But I'm also very thankful that it was not taken before I got it. So yeah, I'm doing this one to promote the r/Galactic Titans, so it can have some stuff to do with Galactic Titans and the channel. And the other one is so I can basically eventually make stuff related to Galactic Titans on the channel, as I do plan on making videos on the channel that are Galactic Titans related, that are like audio dramas, like kind of like a narration of the story, but it's not like an audio book. Like, if you don't know what an audio drama is, basically think a movie but without the visuals. It would have like multiple voice actors playing the characters, and it would have like sound effects and stuff, but it wouldn't really have a narrator, if it makes sense. It wouldn't be like word for word what's in the book. It would be more like actors reading the story, like actors reading the lines and stuff, and sound effects and stuff. That there's audio dramas out there. There's a really good one for Lord of the Rings that was made by BBC like years ago. I absolutely love that one. So if you want to know what an audio drama is, there's plenty of audio dramas out there that you can listen to, so you can get an idea of what that is. But basically, if you know what that is, or you get my description, that's what I want to do with Galactic Titans on the channel. I want to turn Galactic Titans into an audio drama series on the channel with voice actors and everything. Now, I don't know when this is going to happen. I just know that I want to make this happen. And the entire Galactic Titans saga, since I really will say it is Galactic Titans, it is the Galactic Titans universe, since not all the stories have Galactic Titans in the title. Okay, only like the big stories actually have Galactic Titans in the title. The rest of them are important, but they have other titles. Kind of like, again, the MCU. The big important movies are titled Avengers, but that doesn't mean that movies like Iron Man and Captain America are not as important. But nevertheless, that's pretty much everything I have to say for this channel update video. This took a little longer than I was expecting it would, but I talked about a lot of stuff in this video, and I'm very happy that I was able to do that. And there is so much stuff I want to get done. There's so much stuff I want to get done. And there's stuff that could happen that I don't even know is going to happen. Like, a completely unexpected thing happens, and it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to the channel. I don't know. By the way, that's my channel update video for like mid-2023, I guess. So guys, I hope you guys are excited for future stuff, and if you are, please do leave a big fat thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, this happens to be the first video that you have seen by me, and please do consider subscribing and join Team TJ today for awesome gameplay videos and other amazing content like this. Again, apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Titan826 out. Goodbye, guys!